One of Ottawa's most iconic buildings officially has a buyer. What we know about the potential sale of the flagship Bay building on Rideau Street. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. While the Bay is no more, the iconic downtown building still stands as a place of heritage that the beloved Canadian brand called home for 5 decades. But in the near future, walking by that Rideau Street entrance may not feel like a walk down memory lane. The building has a buyer and something different could be on the horizon. CTV's Tyler Fleming is following this story for us. And Tyler, while the deal isn't finalized, how are people reacting to today's news?
Yeah, staff, businesses, residents and officials say the building's sale is a sign of positive and continued growth around the Byward market. After the Hudson's Bay bankruptcy in June, the 5-story building on Rideau Street hit the market, and now the property's buyer seems to be tied to Claridge Homes. So the purchase likely means a major redevelopment. Built in the early 1900s, the building has a heritage status, meaning the exterior will stay, but retail experts say the transformation inside could include a more modern approach with a mix of office, retail, and residential spaces, because the days of department stores are fading fast.
Now it's a very different approach in terms of what customers are looking for at retail. You don't need the space. So that's why we're having a hard time digesting these legacy formats into new retail concepts.
That's an iconic building in downtown Ottawa, and to see a great local company investing in that site is great news. And it's another example of people who are choosing to invest in the Byward market because of the progress that we've achieved.
There are no official plans, and the purchase price is not known, but it is likely in the millions. Now, Claridge Homes is not commenting. The sale is still subject to court approval as part of the receivership process, so it still could be a couple of weeks before we have more details on this, Steph.
All right, CTV's Tyler Fleming reporting live for us. Thank you for this update, Tyler. The gas price roller coaster is ascending. You may have noticed the cost to fill up jumped overnight, and we're being warned that here in Ottawa, we can expect it to go up another 8 cents tomorrow. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTagg says the jump will push the average price of gas in the capital back up above $1.80 a litre. Prices had dropped below $1.70 a litre last week after the federal government suspended the fuel excise tax for the summer. But prices are continuing to fluctuate with the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. And if you're wondering how to stretch your tank, CTV's John Venevali-Rao has some tips.
Let's go check your tire pressure.
Teresa DeFelice with the CAA showed us one of the easiest things drivers looking to save on gas should do right now. Check the tire pressures on their vehicle and make sure they're at the recommended level, which is listed on a sticker you can find inside the driver's side door jamb.
Underinflated tires can reduce your fuel efficiency by 4%.
If a tire is underinflated, it has a higher rolling resistance, and the tire has to work harder to get down the road. A survey last year found only about a quarter of Canadian motorists check their tire pressure monthly. Another thing you can do, look in the trunk to see if there's anything you don't need and remove it. An extra 45 kilograms or 100 pounds in a vehicle can increase fuel consumption up to 1%.
If you were carrying around a bag of salt or sand to weigh down your car in the snow, it's time to take it out and help your fuel efficiency.
If you've got roof racks or bikes hanging off the rear, remove them when not in use because they can, of course, impact the vehicle's aerodynamics.
It causes a drag on your car, and your car has to work harder, which means it's using more fuel.
And experts say try to drive evenly and avoid hard acceleration and sudden braking whenever possible, with aggressive driving shown to lower gas mileage 15 to 30% at highway speeds. Consider using cruise control on the highway to make things steady.
It's nice to have slow acceleration, gradual speed increase.
According to Consumer Reports, another tip, skip the premium gas unless a higher octane is required for your vehicle. And checking gas prices online using apps and websites can help find cheaper prices in your area. That's because experts say prices in the city can vary as much as 10 cents between stations, so it can pay to check.
John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
In other news, one person is dead and another is being treated for life-threatening injuries following a shooting in Cornwall. Police say they got the call to go to the 100 block of Cornwall's Montreal Road yesterday. That's where officers found someone suffering from gunshot wounds. A second person was found dead inside a home with what police believe to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The investigation continues. The body of the OPP sergeant who died in a crash on the 401 is being taken to Oshawa ahead of his funeral. Sergeant Brandon Malcolm died on duty following a single-vehicle motorcycle crash in Cobourg on Monday. Police said those who wish to pay their respects could gather on one of the highway overpasses or sign an online book of condolences. Funeral arrangements for the 33-year-old officer have not yet been announced. Residents living along the Ottawa River are keeping a close eye on water levels as the recent rainfall is expecting to push them even higher. Ottawa received 22 millimeters of rain last night and into this morning. Gatineau saw less rain than expected, but the city's mayor is warning residents to be prepared as a second flood peak is still possible.
We currently don't have an idea exactly of how many properties can be affected. What we see is that more streets could be covered with water, more home could be isolated by the water, and so this is why we invite citizens to get ready for what could be coming up.
Sandbag sites in Gatineau remain open for those who need additional supplies. Showers are also available at several sites for residents in the flood zone. Back on this side of the river, there appears to be a tidal wave of confusion and worry about school boundaries and programs. 6 schools are under review as Ottawa's largest school board deals with some schools being more populated than others. But right now, parents in Ottawa's Hintonburg and Westboro communities are giving the board's communication skills a failing grade. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us to explain further. Caitlin.
Yes, Stefan, you touched on it, but according to the school board, it sounds like some schools are overpopulated while others are underpopulated. So yes, this review is an attempt to balance enrollment, but it could mean a massive restructuring with programs being changed and even the grade levels. The whole thing leaving parents eager for answers. These are the schools being looked at: Broadview Public School, Churchill Alternative School, Elmdale Public School, Fisher Park Summit Alternative Public School, Hilson Avenue Public School, and Woodruff Avenue Public School. Now, according to the Ottawa-Carleton District School Board, if any changes are coming, it won't be for the upcoming school year, but rather September 2027. But for families with more than one child, they worry their children could end up attending different schools, which could pose challenges for drop-off and pickups or just unnecessary inconvenience, even if the school is within walking distance from home. The proposal was spearheaded by parent councils who are hoping that doesn't happen.
The idea with this proposal is that we would, now that the board is transitioning to 2 programs, that we would be redrawing boundaries to allow for new programming to enter Churchill, alleviate crowding at Elmdale and Broadview, and also to let French immersion come into Hilson so we could, again, alleviate that overcrowding and make sure that all of these schools offered a similar educational experience.
And parents say without details, it's hard to give meaningful feedback or make decisions for their children. There are also concerns about how and when programs like early French immersion will be phased in. Families are being invited to an information session next Wednesday at Broadview Public School. It starts at 7 p.m. Parents are encouraged to register in advance, and hopefully many of their questions will be answered at that time. Stefan?
All right, thank you for this, Caitlin. Coming up on CTV News at 5, public servants report ticketing and towing of vehicles with in-person work and not enough parking spaces at DND. We'll discuss with CFRA's Christy Cameron. And here's Jackie Perez with our first check on the forecast. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. Light rain moving through earlier this afternoon throughout Ottawa. It is starting to clear up. We are mainly cloudy skies for parts of the region, so it is moving fairly quickly. Temperatures right now sitting around 9-10 degrees. Things are going to get a lot cooler closer to the freezing mark. It has prompted a frost advisory for parts of Ontario as well as Quebec. Here in the eastern Ontario, Kingston, Brockville, this is where the frost advisory is in place. Now tonight here in Ottawa, -2, partly cloudy skies, and tomorrow anticipated daytime high is 11 degrees. We'll get a closer look at your long-term forecast in just a bit. Stefan.
Thank you, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. Comedian Zarna Garg is bringing her new show, $1 Million Excuses, to the Capitol. She'll take the stage at the Algonquin Commons Theatre tomorrow at 7 p.m. Visit the venue's website for tickets. Here's a live check on traffic. Things not looking too badly on the Queensway right now, but there are slowdowns from Bronson to Pinecrest. Eastbound, you'll see some volume picking up around Maitland, and that stretches out to Parkdale, also between Riverside and Innis. Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. As federal public servants are preparing to spend more time in the office, concerns have been raised over whether there are enough parking spots to accommodate everyone on a consistent basis. Today's radio question of the day is asking, should workers be ordered back to the office if there isn't sufficient parking?
Provide us with the right infrastructure so we can actually get to work. If it's so important to get us to work, to the office, to do the same job that many can do at home, and with all this, traffic situation, parking situation, provide us with adequate accommodation if they want to force us back to the office.
Christy Cameron is here with more. And Christy, I understand that the D&D building on Carling Avenue in particular is very frustrating for public servants.
Oh, yeah. People are saying it's harder to find parking there, or as hard as it is to get a Taylor Swift ticket to a concert, okay? Now, people are having fun with it. But here's the thing. Even if, Steph, you are hardcore in favor of public servants going back 4 days a week this summer, even if you want to say order them back 5 days a week, I think you can look at this and agree that the DND setup at the Carling campus that we're looking at in particular is flawed. It makes no sense. The campus is in the middle of nowhere. It is designed for people to drive there, but then they don't have enough room for all their cars. Driving to DND at Carling is not a preference. In fact, for the vast majority of people, a lot of them, it is the only realistic option due to the location. This is not like an office in downtown Ottawa. It is isolated. Transit is very limited. So until they can free up parking spaces, I think this is a valid discussion. They need to stagger working hours, or they need to find some overflow.
And the transit infrastructure is key, right? When we did our Worst Commute series here on CTV, that's what people are also talking about. They're like, we don't want to pay for parking or have the headache of having to park, but the transit system isn't ideal to get us to work or reliable.
And it is different than, let's say, working in the Byward Market or working in a different area where there's a ton of residential neighborhoods. There are some residential neighborhoods nearby, but not enough for 5,000 parking spots. So if you show up early, let's say you show up at 8 a.m. and you don't happen to get a parking spot, well, you pay $75 a month for a pass that is now useless, and you're pretty much stuck because there's not a lot of wiggle room.
All right, and bylaw will come for you if you overpark.
Oh yeah, no, they have been towing cars, so
Thank
watch
you, Christy. You can join the conversation, leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6, and now watch Christy's segments anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA channel. Coming up on CTV News at 5, a new not-for-profit university at Lansdowne Park will tell you why they call their programs Cutting Edge a little later. Here's what else you need to know. The annual CN Cycle for CHEO is happening this Sunday. There are 15-kilometer, 35, and 70-kilometer routes. The event begins and ends at the Canadian War Museum. A live check on traffic right now. You can see those westbound lanes really slow going around Woodruff. Eastbound is also slow moving along that stretch of the Queensway. At Saint Laurent, things are flowing nicely. We'll be right back. Coming up tonight on CTV following the 6 o'clock newscast, E-Talk starts at 7, George and Mandy's First Marriage at 7:30, Next Level Chef at 8, 911 Nashville at 9, and Grey's Anatomy at 10. Now for another check on the weather forecast, here's Jackie. And Jackie, we just saw some light showers downtown after a bit of a super soaker last night. Please tell me we can look forward to a drier weekend.
Yes, well, you could already start to see it now, Stefan. It has cleared up slightly. It's still remnants of that light rainfall we saw the last couple of hours, but for the most part, clear skies anticipated for the overnight, and tomorrow, still a slight chance that we could see those showers. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, and you can see the camera already clearing up from those rain droplets, mainly cloudy skies looking down to Parliament Hill and Chateau Laurier, and it is cooled down significantly compared to what we had for the last couple of days. 8 degrees is what we're seeing right now. Tomorrow, it is going to remain fairly cool. It's 1 degree to start us off for tomorrow. We will likely see a break in the clouds with some sunshine moving in by noon and into the afternoon. We could also see, very similar to what we saw today, scattered showers throughout eastern Ontario. Daytime high around 11 degrees, so still fairly cool. When we look to the valley, -3 for the overnight lows. Tomorrow, daytime high 11 degrees. A reminder that for parts of eastern Western Ontario, a frost advisory is in effect. Overnight in the Seaway, 2 degrees, 11 degrees the daytime high. And as we look towards our Friday into our Saturday, we are likely going to see mainly cloudy skies, but parts of Kingston and Brockville could also see some isolated showers moving in. It's not until 2 p.m. for Saturday that we could see more scattered showers picking up as well, but it shouldn't last very long. This should clear by the time Sunday rolls around, where we will see a nice sunny break. Average temperatures for the next 3 days about 13, 14 degrees, and into Tuesday we're going to start to warm up again at 18 degrees, but we could see the return of those showers moving in early next week.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Tree, complete tree care from start to stump.
So the good news is that we are having mainly cloudy skies for the rest of this evening, partly cloudy for the overnight, and then tomorrow we could see some scattered showers in the late afternoon. But if you want to get that sunshine, you want to start early, Stefan, because we will likely see that the first thing tomorrow morning. We'll take it back to you for now, but again, take advantage of these next couple of days because the rain could likely return, the heavy rainfall, probably the middle of next week.
All right, thank you for this, Jackie. And here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on CTV News Ottawa.ca. If you go to our homepage currently, the main headline reads, Supreme Court to hear appeal of jail sentence for the man who stole Churchill's portrait from the Chateau Laurier Hotel. If you're interested in that story, definitely click on that article. But we do have some breaking news of national interest. Trump authorizes a new pipeline from Canada to the U.S. This article has live updates for you. Certainly, CTV News Channel is all over this story as well. This could be a very big deal for Canada as a energy-dominant country. And right now, the Canadian government is acknowledging that there's been a signing of a deal, but hasn't said much more than that. All the details at ctvnewsottawa.ca.
Jenner scores! Brianne Jenner wins it in overtime for Ottawa!
Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5, playoff ready. The Charge expected to bring the energy for Game 1 in their playoff series against Boston. Here's what you need to know for the classical music lovers. World-renowned Canadian violinist James Ennis is performing a solo recital this weekend celebrating his 50th birthday. The violinist takes the stage Sunday night at the NAC. Visit their website for details and tickets. Also, another live check on traffic. Again, you can see that the roads are a little wet right now, so people tend to slow down. That could add to the volume building along the Queensway. Parkdale isn't moving too badly right now, but the westbound lanes of the Queensway headed toward Pinecrest very backed up at this time. You're watching CTV News at 5.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Temperature right now, 8 degrees. And time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
By pooling together, we're stronger financially, and it's a testament to Canada's reputation.
Canada is about to become the headquarters for a multinational bank focused on defense and global security needs. Ottawa is one of several cities in the running to become the home base for the new operation.
Now it's a very different approach in terms of what customers are looking for at retail.
What's next for the landmark building that housed the former flagship Hudson's Bay store on Rideau Street? A deal is in the works to sell the property after the retailer shut down last year.
From place to place, from facility to facility, how we can maximize the gains for Canadians.
The federal government is looking at potentially privatizing some airports in this country, what it could mean for Canadian travelers, and why the proposal doesn't fly with everyone. All of that and more coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today. Ottawa's getting charged up for more playoff hockey.
Yeah!
Mayor Mark Sutcliffe, councillors and fans were at Ottawa City Hall this morning to raise the Charge flag. The Charge opened their first round PWHL playoff series tonight in Boston. The Charge Avenue signs are also being installed on Bank Street during the team's playoff run.
7, 8,
Ottawa Rapid FC back on the field at TD Place today for a practice ahead of their weekend home opener. The professional women's soccer team is part of the Northern Super League, now going into its second year. The Rapid FC hosts their home opener against Calgary Saturday at 5 p.m. at TD Place, and after the game, the team is inviting ticket holders to watch the Charge playoff game on the big screen starting at 7.
We are Ontario's first independent, not-for-profit university. Our goal is to build an exceptional model for our country and one that we can all be proud of.
The Ottawa campus of IBU, International Business University, is officially open. The new not-for-profit university at Lansdowne is partnering with the Canada North Business Association and Tech Access Canada. It has a memorandum of understanding with La Cité. The school will also offer what it calls a cutting-edge AI program. And the clock is ticking towards the midnight deadline to file your taxes. The deadline to file taxes if you owe money to the Canada Revenue Agency is April 30th. The penalty for filing a return after the deadline is 5% on the balance of taxes owed, plus 1% for each month the return is late. And Ottawa's major events center near the Ottawa Airport has a new name. The EY Centre will now be known as the Cohere Centre, a Toronto-based AI company. The security-first enterprise AI company was founded in 2019 and is focused on developing AI systems. The centre first opened in 2012 and was branded the EY Centre that same year. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Thanks for watching.